Let's find the best NBA player at every scoring average, but before we do that, I need to set a few quick rules. First, I'm only counting career scoring averages. Many players have a fluctuating average on a season-by-season basis, usually a smaller point total towards the rookie seasons or way at the bitter end of their career. The only time I will factor a one-season outlier is if there's no other option for that point total. The second rule is that I am going to go in intervals of 5 points per game, and I will be rounding up in order to separate which category a player falls under. Pay attention to how many active players end up making this list and how many are aligned with the Game Day's 2022 NBA MVP prediction, sleeper picks, and award odds. You can read that article by clicking the link down below or heading on to thegameday.com. The Game Day is a new sports and sports betting media company that is built for today's fan. Without further ado, let's rebound onto that list. The best NBA player to average less than 5 points per game is Manute Bol. Manute Bol only averaged roughly 2.6 points per game throughout his entire career, and only 3.7 points per game in his highest scoring season. For a guy who can easily touch the rim and for being one of the tallest players in NBA history, you would think his scoring would be much higher, but this man was far more of a defensive maestro who averaged 5 blocks per game in his best blocking season and was a 2-time block champion. He's also a 1985 All-Defensive player. Rest in peace to Manute Bol. The best NBA player to average less than 10 points per game throughout their career is a really close call between Dennis Rodman and Ben Wallace. Both players are legendary defenders and champions who have multiple rings and multiple DPOY awards. Their defense is neck and neck. Choosing the better defender is a close call, and you can make good arguments for both. What separates Dennis from Ben would be his passing ability and slightly better scoring ability. While neither player are legendary scorers or passers, Dennis is clearly the better between the two. He scored more points in less seasons, and you could argue he played during a tougher era. My pick for this category is Dennis Rodman, who averaged 7.3 points per game. The best NBA player to average less than 15 points per game is Jon Stockton. Jon averaged 13.1 points per game throughout his career. He is easily one of the best point guards of all time. He leads the entire league in steals and assists, and he's a 9-time assist champion and 2-time steals champion. The 10-time All-Star put up over 14 assists per game in his best assisting season. The best NBA player to average less than 20 points per game is a really close call between Tim Duncan and Magic Johnson. Magic averaged 19.5 points per game and Tim averaged 19 points per game. Both NBA players are legends who belong in the GOAT debate. There is no wrong answer here. While Magic is the far better passer and floor general, offense is just one half of the game. I personally think the gap between Tim and Magic's defense is much wider in Tim's favor over the gap in offense between the two in Magic's favor. I also think Tim is the more efficient player. For these reasons, I'm giving this category to the big fundamental. The best NBA player to average less than 25 points per game is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem averaged 24.6 points per game throughout his career. Some really good runners-up include Larry Bird and Hakeem Olajuwon. There are many go-worthy players in this category, but Kareem is quite easily the second or third best player of all time. Some consider him the first, which is completely respectable since this man is a legend. He is a 6-time MVP and a 6-time champion. The best NBA player to average less than 30 points per game is LeBron James. Some really close runners-up include Kobe Bryant and Kevin Durant. Rest in peace to the Mamba. LeBron in his prime, however, is just a more complete player who can guard all 5 positions, defend all 5 positions, run an offense, and is a pass-first player if he needs to be. He is probably the second greatest player of all time. The best NBA player to average less than 35 points per game is the GOAT of the sport, Michael Jordan, who averaged 30.1 points per game throughout his career. MJ is the GOAT, so this needs no explanation. The best NBA player to average more than 40 points per game is the only player to ever do it, and that's the legendary Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain. Wilt averaged a video game 44.8 points per game in 1962 and an insane 50.3 points per game in 1961. While during his overall career, he would fall one slot below in MJ's point category, I wanted to acknowledge his prime when he put up over 50 points per game. Wilt was a scoring machine and is easily a top 5 all-time NBA player. Rest in peace to Wilt Chamberlain. So to recap, that's under 5 points per game Manute Bol, under 10 points per game Dennis Rodman, under 15 points per game Jon Stockton, under 20 points per game Tim Duncan, under 25 points per game Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, under 30 points per game LeBron James, under 35 points per game Michael Jordan, and 40 plus points per game Wilt Chamberlain. Let me know what you think of this list, and go make sure to find out if LeBron was good enough to make it onto the Game Day's 2022 MVP odds list by clicking that top link down below. I'm Rebound Rewind, and I'll fast forward to you later.